Dwarves in Warhammer Age of Sigmar are called Duardin. They are great allies to mankind and the god king Sigmar. These magnificent and proud people held many of the traditional tropes you'd find of a dwarven faction in a fantasy setting. At least, they started that way. The Duardin, while glorious and prosperous throughout the Age of Myth, were heavily stricken by near annihilation. Duardin may be many things, great craftsmen, grudge-bearers, and stubborn, but one thing that drives them above all else is self-sufficiency. The majority of Duardin can trace their origins back to the great Khazalid Empire, an empire that rose across each of the mortal realms, which dug into mountain ranges and subterranean caverns. Their territories showcased their prosperity with great gems and gold inlaid into their architecture, but also displayed the durability with their unique Gromril metal, a material of enchanted metal used for their armor, weaponry, and defenses. Such a vast empire and rich people clung to their traditions and cultures, as it brought them a realm-renowned reputation. Their territories were as precious to them as their own kin. This stubborn pride nearly ended their people in the Age of Chaos. In their impenetrable holds, Skaven dug through reality and assaulted them. Their homes in Chamon, Realm of Metal, were a focal point of Tzeentch's chaotic conquest, and the great connection across their strongholds known as the Karax were interrupted by either magical plot, verminous scheming, or the destructive pilgrimage of fleeing grots. Hold after hold fell. Entire Duardin peoples wiped from history. The once great Duardin began to realize they could not hold on to their empire alone. Grungni, their most revered god, watched from Azir, not lifting a finger to aid his people. He knew they could survive. Ingenuity and innovation grew from strife, and his people were self-sufficient. They did not need a god to save them. Some may say Grungni is as stubborn as his worshippers. Even as his people's numbers dwindled and their empires collapsed across the vast mortal realms, Grungni watched from the heavens, believing his people would overcome without him. The Age of Chaos fractured the Duardin people. The Khazalid Empire is lost, a memory held in the hearts and minds of the survivors. Some Duardin found the means to ensure their survival under this apocalypse, ways that moved away from tradition. But those who held onto the old ways fled to Azir for shelter with the god king Sigmar. These Duardin were known as the Dispossessed. These refugees added their mastercrafted ingenuity to raise great advancement for Sigmar's people, improved gunpowdered weaponry, fortified towns, subterranean garrisons, their marveled smithcraft, and most notably, their miraculous rune shaping. During the Age of Sigmar, these Azerite descendants of the Khazalid Empire marched forth alongside the God King's people, building the majority of the great cities of Sigmar. Bearing ancestral icons around their necks, they now venture into the chaotic frontiers of the mortal realms in hopes of reclaiming their lost empire. But not all Duardin fled to heavenly Azir during the Age of Chaos. Some were able to survive on their own. The Fyreslayers, crusading mercenaries of the dead Duardin god Grimnir, and the Caradron overlords, mercantile airborne innovators, are far different from their traditionalist brethren. With Grungni's recent return to his fractured people, the Dispossessed hold high hopes that their diverged brothers and sisters mend their bonds so they may recreate a better world for all Duardin people.